Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and it's my pleasure to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Today, we're diving into a critical function that every hospitality professional needs to master: the art and science of financial adjustments.
This quote really gets to the heart of it. Adjustments aren't just about crunching numbers. They're what we call moments of truth. How we handle these situations, well, it says everything about our professionalism and our commitment to both the guest and the hotel.
Okay, so let's get right into our first big idea. When you're at the front desk, you're basically a guardian. You're protecting two really important things: the hotel's bottom line and that crucial relationship with the guest. Every single financial adjustment you make, it puts you right in the middle of that balancing act.
And let's be real for a second. Mistakes are going to happen. That's just a fact of life in a busy hotel. Maybe a charge gets posted to the wrong room, or a service just doesn't quite hit the mark for a guest. These aren't failures, not at all. They're opportunities that call for a cool head and a precise, professional response. So, to give that professional response, you need the right tools in your toolkit. When it comes to hotel finance, we really have four main types of adjustments. And trust me, knowing which one to use and when, it's absolutely non-negotiable. So let's break them down one by one.
First up, we've got the allowance. The key thing to remember here is that an allowance happens before the guest pays their final bill. So imagine a guest's rate is supposed to include breakfast, but somehow a breakfast charge shows up on their folio. Using an allowance is how you'd remove that error, making sure the bill is perfect before they even see a credit card machine.
Next up, the rebate. Now, this one is the opposite. It comes into play after the bill has been fully paid and the guest has checked out. Let's say a guest calls you the next day and says the noise from the room next door kept them up all night. To make things right, you might process a rebate, which is essentially a partial refund for that service issue on a bill they've already settled.
A void is your quick fix tool. This is for catching and erasing a mistake on the same day it was made, usually during your shift. So if you accidentally double post a charge from the restaurant, oops, you just void one of them. Poof. From the system's perspective, it's like it never even happened. It keeps the guest's folio clean and the day's financial reports accurate.
And finally, there's the refund. This one's pretty straightforward. It's the direct return of money to a guest. It's not about adjusting a charge on a folio. It's about giving back funds that have already been paid. The critical part here is to process it back to the original form of payment and to always let the guest know that. Especially with credit cards, it can take a few business days to show up on their end.
Okay, this table right here, this is basically your cheat sheet. If you get a little lost, just come back to this. Look at the timing and payment status columns. That's the whole game. Allowances and voids are for unpaid charges. Rebates and refunds are for charges that are already paid. Knowing this difference is what helps you choose the right tool for the job every single time. All right, we know the tools. Now let's talk about the golden rule: documentation. I cannot stress this enough. Every single adjustment, no matter how tiny, has to have a clear and complete paper trail. And this isn't about creating extra work. It's about professional accountability. It protects you, the guest, and the hotel.
So that brings up a really important question. When your manager or an auditor is looking over your work, what are they actually looking for? What makes an adjustment totally solid, defensible, and transparent? How do we build that trust?
Well, we do it by following these 4 steps. This is your documentation trail. First, you need a clear justification. What was the reason for this? Second, you need supporting evidence, maybe an email from the guest or a note from another department. Third, you get the required approval. That supervisor sign-off is key. And finally, you make sure the record in the property management system is perfect. Follow this and you're golden. Okay, so we've covered the technical side, the how-to. Now let's talk about the human element. Because knowing how to process an adjustment is one thing, but knowing when to do it and why and how much, well, that takes judgment. This is really where you go from just being a cashier to being a true hospitality professional.
It's like walking a tightrope, really. On one side, if you're too lenient, just giving adjustments for everything, you're creating revenue leakage, and you might even open the door for fraud. But on the other side, if you're too strict, denying a perfectly reasonable request, you could seriously damage that guest's trust and hurt the hotel's reputation. Finding that perfect balance using hotel policy and your own good sense, that's the art of it. And finally, let's talk about where all your hard work ends up. Because what you do during your shift doesn't just disappear. Every adjustment you make gets a second look during one of the hotel's most important daily processes, the night audit. Your accuracy and your documentation directly affect the financial integrity of the entire hotel.
So what is the night audit team actually doing? Think of them as the financial guardians of the hotel. They go through every single allowance, rebate, and void from the day. They're checking for accuracy, but they're also looking for any strange patterns that could point to misuse or even fraud. When your documentation is crystal clear, you make their job possible, and you help ensure the hotel's books are perfectly balanced.
So, when you bring it all together, what does it really take to master this? It's so much more than just knowing which buttons to press in the system. It's a blend of skills. You need to know the hotel's policies inside and out, you need a sharp eye for detail, and you have to be a clear communicator with both the guests and your own team.
I'll leave you with this one final thought. Almost every financial adjustment starts because of a problem, right? An error, a complaint, some kind of disappointment. But it doesn't have to end there. Handled correctly, every single correction is a chance to show integrity, to actually build guest loyalty, and to prove your own value as a professional. The real question is, how will you seize that opportunity?